WYLDE really won't have much to do if they win this. That I will guarantee.
Absolutely. Well, 30 seconds to Mars and 30 seconds till the game. I'm sure once we've rifled our way through these bans, we've got Secret starting off on the defense, WYLDE on the attack, which means Secret are going to start out in the bans here with the first attacking ban being taken away. Maybe we see something like the Ying coming through like we spoke about earlier on. We've seen a couple of Jackal bans on this map historically as well. First one is going to be that Ying, as mentioned, Tim. Big execute-based operator. Not surprised to see it taken off the board.
No, not at all. Obviously Fresh has touched on WYLDE's executes yesterday, brought one down fantastically for us. But yeah, so many plants going down, and it was something that I really enjoyed from WYLDE. So, if you're Team Secret, what do you do? Yeah, let's take away one of those execution operators. Let's try and make it more difficult for them. Knock follows up as the second attacker.
It's go on, surely, Tim, surely. It's a knock ban. There's a line in there.
Well, there's lots of lines in there. Knock again. We've seen quite a few knock bans.
We've seen quite a few knock picks since we got started yesterday.
When available, absolutely.
Oh,
it's very powerful at the minute. Very powerful.
When she holds 25% of the possible available frag grenades in the game at the moment, yeah, no surprise at all. With a really good gadget as well, just slipping through technology. For those who don't know, her gadget basically makes her invisible to cameras for a short while, and
so
very
she
capable.
Doesn't run.
As long as she doesn't run. And then you get a little weird
it's like
bit
a
of
glitch.
distortion.
It's not,
yeah, you get like distortion on the screen, so you can see where she is, but still incredibly annoying to deal with. And our last two then coming through, I think I saw the Azami and the Solis. Yep, there we go. Azami and Solis, our last two being taken away as well. So let's get into things and see how WYLDE fare on their attacks. I think many today are favouring WYLDE to win, but if we learn anything from that first game of the night, Tim, upsets are very possible here in EU.
As I say, I've predicted, I always do my little predictions before the play day starts. I've gone for Secret for this one. Like I say, WYLDE came out like a rocket yesterday, to be fair. And I'd love to see it continue. You know me, I absolutely love an underdog story. I absolutely love, those teams that come out and surprise us. I would love to see it continue. I just think we're going to see a bit more from Secret and maybe a little bit less from WYLDE. But one thing I do know is this is going to be a close game.
I'm hoping so. I mean, you're saying you know, but you can't guarantee.
Oh, we'll find out.
What if WYLDE roll through 6 attacks in a row?
I don't think they will. Oh, they will. I think it's...
Oh, you got to guarantee it, though, because you said you guaranteed it's not going to be a close.
I genuinely think both of these teams are very evenly matched. I would be surprised if we see less than 11 rounds.
Well, I'm hoping we get that way, and maybe even all the way through to overtime, Tim. We had a great one earlier on Villa. I'd love to see yet another. Time will tell. For now, we've got Secret out and about around the map, scattering those Valk cams to the high winds just to feed that information back and forth as and when required. Gives them an idea as to where the attack comes from as well. It does mean there's a bit of work to do for the attacking side to get those cleared away, but also not forgetting if ZKB can find a kill early on, can get those cams hacked, those black eye cams do start to work for the attackers too.
Rapid from WYLDE there, no messing about. 20 seconds into the round, and they're going to get that snowmobile breach open. They're likely going to look for a multi-sided push, which is something that I like attacking onto this side, but we have seen recently, it used to be a very turtle sort of base defence site did this. It was pretty much try and lock it down, try and keep those walls closed, maybe play from the hatch a little bit. But teams figured that out on the attack very, very well. So what we've seen over the last couple of months, there you go, doesn't find his man. What we've seen over the last couple of months is the defensive strategy sort of changing, and we've got this, much more sort of whole map defense. You're going to have to come and find us, you're going to have to close us down, and that's exactly what Ace does. Manages to take down YZM, finds another one onto Sleb, and the nade finding its mark this time. Great use of his utility, and what a start from Aces with a double.
That's what you want from him as well. He was one of the quieter players on the team yesterday, I think right up until the last round. In fact, no, the whole way through was the lowest rated or the lowest kill player on the team. Not the sort of performance that we used to see from Aces. And I say that in a game where the whole team played exceptionally well and there were very few kills available to him. But you do expect normally to see him at the forefront of the killing spree in this team. 2 to start out the round, and WYLDE pulling out what looks to be the El Clasico execute on this side, Tim.
Right now, Team Secret have got every problem possible when defending this site. They've lost their roamers, they've managed to put one back out there, but they've got snowmobile wall open, they've got trench wall, and they've got wine wall all open. So every angle is into sight. There is nowhere safe inside a site. We're going to have the diffuser going down any second, I would expect. They have to deal with pillars, but that has now been done. Savage is going to be taken out, as is Astro. There's not going to be time for Packbull to finish this at this rate. As the peak comes around, Groovy's trying to do anything he can. Packbull will secure the plant, but it is now a matter of time, surely, until Groovy gets taken down.
They've executed this just like Tim's rank stack. There's only one left standing in Connector, and he is not long for this world.
So true.
I do want to go back towards what Fresh said in the pre-game as well, when he brought up the illustration of Wild's excellent attacks. We've just saw another one there as well. Very, very to the method. Flashbang in towards Connector. Full flashed out the player that was stood in behind Pillar. He could do nothing, could not swing in, and they had full control of that site from start to finish. Really smartly played. Secret going to have to try a different site, I imagine, try some different ideas.
Absolutely. Very, very good. Very impressive from Wild once again. The thing is, what I would say there that was particularly impressive from Wild, aside from the mechanical elements, getting the access, getting the kills, it was just the sort of higher level general understanding of how to attack that side. It was great. They know that now.
They played in the Tim rank stack.
Well, be that as it may, Des, we've got a very good win rate on that side, is all I'll say. But genuinely, they recognise exactly what the defence was. Yep, they spread around the map. Right, so we go and get those couple of kills. We then push onto site. They've already got Snowmobile open. For anybody, wondering, what's the importance of that, why am I mentioning it? It makes it very difficult for the defenders inside a site. It's not necessarily... It used to be that you'd try and open Snowmobile wall, go in and put the diffuser down inside of it. That's not really the play anymore. Ooh, doesn't quite find his man. But once you get that Snowmobile wall open, it means the defenders have constantly got to be checking it because somebody could come and peek there. It's just a constant. It's like playing with a wasp in the room, and it becomes a constant problem for them. And again, it was just a great understanding from Wild of how to do that, and it was just ticking box after box after box. Great attack. Coming into this a round ago, I said I'm not sure we're going to see the same level of performance out of Wild week in week out, play day in play day out. But right now, one round in, I tell you what, it doesn't look like it's gone anywhere yet.
Yeah, normally I say the half to see how the other team performs when we switch sides. Clearly in the heroic TT9 game yesterday, it did not matter. So give it 3 rounds to see each side being played out and then how they deliver. That's what I'm most excited to see. Patbull finds one, instant response though coming out from Sleben. Good trade coming out for Team Secret.
Hungry, he's just going to be down on the basement stairs there. Thinks that there's somebody to be dealt with this. Is he's going to find one, Jegs another. I'll tell you what, it's just...
Nice.
One piece after another just tumbles in favour of Wild at the minute. They just can't seem to do anything wrong. Sleben starts to push his way back in towards the main lobby, but he's going to be picked up by a drone there, so he's going to have to rethink. And right now, Wild have the site, Des. They've got no vertical. That's a problem. Secret, with Savage can play from above if he manages to get this kill. But other than that, Wild, they've got another opportunity to plant, apart from the fact they don't have diffuser in hand.
They're trying to recover it here, but it's being so mindful of the players. Yeah, I mean, Hungry's managed to get it back on side. I think that was almost like the ghosts of the icon hanging over there on the way in the downstairs, but they have recovered it. They are going in for the plant. They have got the vertical, the timing on that as well. Savage almost in a perfect spot to be able to get the blast down, but simply not going to happen. While get the plant down, and Tim, we know how difficult this site can be to retake.
Absolute nightmare, especially if you don't have top floor. They've had to drop back down. Sleben's going to be pushing in from the main lobby, and they're trying to get that top floor, use a bit of vertical where they can, but Savage knows he can't focus on the bomb because he's got somebody on the window. He's going to be constantly pressured, constantly challenged from all sides. They're just throwing utility at him. They're just doing everything they can to make his life a living nightmare. He tries to take the challenge onto the single window, shut down by Teb with a pistol, and that is going to be the round for Wild once again. And again, another great execute. It's almost like Wild have figured out that if you put the diffuser down in this game, you quite often win the round.
Yeah.
Have any of the other teams thought of this?
It's funny you say that. I was looking at the stats yesterday. 5 of 6 rounds yesterday Wild planted him.
Yep.
Heroic planted in 6 of 6 attacking rounds.
There you go. And they were the 2 best performing teams, I would say.
Weird that.
Overall.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Fresh is looking at me really weird. Do you not believe in my stats, do you not? I'm 99% sure. I did do a little dig before the day today, unless I've got the team wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Heroic.
There was a bit there that I love that you said, do you not believe in my stats? And Fresh sort of held his hands up like, no, I believe him. But then immediately scrolled on his on his tablet and straight onto the laptop.
I will take a look as well. Let's see what comes out of this.
I will cover round 3 for the time being.
Please do.
Let's have a look.
Very fair chance I've got the wrong team, to be fair, when I was scrolling through. But, I'll give Fresh that.
He's
better with stats than me.
Secret are going to be playing with the castle. Sleben's going to just be blocking off that route through to West Main. It's down into basement again. And honestly, Secret, I'm not too sure about this choice. You know, they were absolutely decimated down here in round 1. Wild made it look easy. They just took them apart piece by piece. They, you know, just ticked every checkbox on the list as they went towards that victory. And honestly, Team Secret are really going to have to bring something different if they want the outcome to be different. And the main thing is they're going to have to win gunfights out in the map. That's the top and bottom of it. And so far, Team Secret have got 3 kills. They need to be finding more. They need to be winning those fights on the top floor.
I've submitted my evidence to Fresh. I'm awaiting fair judgment. Am I wrong?
Pending
Or
approval.
am I right? Am I right?
It's a hand.
Oh, he doesn't know. Oh, okay. It's looking a bit ropey now. We'll find out on the conclusion of this epic battle of stats in about 20 seconds' time. But now it's Astro winning out the battle against Jegs, a feat that not many players can claim to. Secret up into a 5v3 with 2 great kills, though, Tim. Great one removing as well, Jegs and Aces, because you get rid of those 4 frag grenades and 2 of the entries for this team.
Well, if you remember just 30, 40 seconds ago, I said they need to win the gunfights on the top floor. They need to be winning the gunfights out in the map. And that's exactly what they've done. They've set themselves up to win this site now. Savage, he's going to get the kill onto Hungry. It leaves us 2 versus 5. They've got the hard breach of Pikeball, but to be honest, they need more than that. They're going to need more cover. They need to be finding some kills, and maybe, you know, as we've said, Pikeball, you don't always bring him along for kills. You know, YZN, he's going to find one, and then the challenge comes into blue. Teb it is who manages to find his man, and all of a sudden, this looks like it could be a bit more doable. 2 versus 3.
Do you believe, Tim? Do you believe in the Wild 2v5?
I don't yet.
It's building towards it as Teb gets flashed by Pakball, bless him.
There's plenty of
Trying
time.
to march his way forward, but Pakball's managed to transition all the way out towards the other side here. They've got a shield to play behind if they try and go for a plant, but they don't have the vertical, Tim, and I know how much you love this vertical.
Well, it could be a problem, but it's not necessarily here, because there's only 3 members of Team Secret left. They're not heavily present on site, so there could have been an opportunity. I switched what I was saying very quickly there. I was going to say there will be an opportunity. There could have been an opportunity for Pikeball to put that diffuser down somewhere else in sight in a little off-plant spot. But as it was, Team Secret able to collapse back onto site. A better result from them. The big difference being they didn't lose those 2 men in the early fights. And that was very, very important. Now we're having a textbook Twister timeout early in the game.
Yeah, I mean, don't blame him. Overall, I think it's a good chance. You've seen 3 rounds, you've seen the different sites, in this case, the same site twice, and it's a chance to go, cool, what have we learned? What have we got to course correct going into the other sites? We've recovered one, but we can recover on to more. So I don't at all dislike this. I think it's quite good from Twister to call it in so early. Better to course correct any mistakes that you can see obviously running through the team early on than letting a few more rounds slip away and then look to make your correction.
Well, we know that Twister's one of those coaches, as you know, from the fantastic listenings that we got at SI, it started to give us a real picture of the difference in styles between coaches and, you know, what they try to bring to those timeouts. And we know that Twister is one of those coaches that tries to bring quite a hands-on, practical approach. You know, what has he seen in the game so far? What do you need to change? Where are the problems coming? How can you deal with those? You know, whereas some coaches are maybe focusing more on team mentality or, you know, energy, you know, all sorts of different things that different coaches focus on. But Twister was very sort of strategy-based, very hands-on, sort of tactical-based. And so I would expect to see Team Secret, as you say, coming out with some changes here. I would have expected Twister to give them some things like, this is what you need to change, this is what you need to do, sort of actionable things that they can go away and alter.
Absolutely. Well, getting back into things in just a moment is the game plan. No clue. Us neither. Time will tell.
We'll get back in as soon as we can do. Secret, I think they're... oh, there we go.
Would that be
also got an interesting player cam screen. Yeah, I think Secret, as I say, they recognised what had happened in the first round. They adapted well. So I think overall, a good round for Secret. If they can get themselves another one here, you know, go back to back. They go in again. It's at least showing on the screen at the minute. We'll see whether it changes when we get into the round. But for the time being, it looks like it's going to be Bar and Gaming. And if that's the case, again, I'd feel confident for them, really. You know, they've lost Wine. They've lost Bar and Gaming. They've come back, they've adapted, they've won Wine. I would expect them to be able to apply those adaptations and potentially take this site as well.
Absolutely. So you may have just seen them for a second as well. There's an extended tactical pause coming in for one of the teams. I believe Secret have that to kind of balance out what we had coming in for the other side of Wild there. I think they had audio issues, so they basically get a repeat of what the other side had, but they don't get it at the same time. So basically 2 separate tactical pauses rather than overlapping as we are used to, but we should get back into things then in about 30 seconds or so. So based on what we've seen so far, we spoke a lot about aces. We spoke about how yesterday he was one of the lower fraggers on the team, and it's not at all to highlight and say he was playing bad. It's just the team was delivering so well overall that he was struggling to get himself, away and sideways. Just simply could not get involved in the game to the level that maybe he would have liked. Started this game in much more emphatic fashion, and for a second it looked like Secret might slightly drop off, but they themselves have also battled their way back into things. It is 2-1. We've just had the tactical pause, and now we get to see how the second quarter of the game progresses.
There we go. We'll get back into things. It's going to be round 4 then. Bar and Gaming will be the side. We saw this back in round 2. The attackers of Wild were able to get the win. They got some good top floor control. They managed the space in Library, cleared out the site, and ultimately were able to get in and get a diffuser down. So again, what do Team Secretly do differently here? What I want to see is keeping hold of that Library space, using those 3 points that we know are so important to holding onto that Library space. We're going to try and keep hold of Mezzanine, try and keep hold of top blue, try and keep hold of the Library box or Library corner, whichever you choose to go for. Keep that space, don't let Wild have the vertical, and they can't put the diffuser down. Force them to play through piano, force them to play into office, don't let them go so direct.
Absolutely. A couple of cat cans being scattered around. We saw one onto the box door inside a Library. A couple here double stacked up on that master bedroom door that leads in towards piano. Just hoping there and relying on Wild pushing in from that north side and trying to move quite swiftly through that top floor. Maybe not being as, I suppose, deep on the droning as maybe you'd like them to be. Patball, the ideal target here as well on the Amaru, comes swinging in, charges his way forward. Yep, there are 2 cat cans to run straight his way into. Savage still lurking up on this top side as well with the support of Astro playing on Library stairs. Rightly so, Secret want to get out in the map and cause a little bit of bother, but you have to be careful about leaving too much open for Wild here to just look directly at the site, Tim.
Another drone hole Claymore for you to add to your ranked collection there. We saw the one on Villa, we spoke about the one on Clubhouse, and there is another one directly into the site here on Chalet. Savage is going to be taken down by Packball. What a great entry from Packball on the Amaru. As we've said, Packball has really impressed us yesterday and today with his ability to bring kills. Doing fantastically well. Would love to see that continue. That's a 5 versus 4 and a good start for Wild, but Secret still have those important positions that I spoke about. They've got Mezzanine, they've got top blue, they can hold on to Library.
Yeah, worth referencing Patball. I mentioned him a little bit yesterday. I was trying not to be too mean to him because I do like the guy, but was always regarded as the go-to plant bot. You hold down F for the team. He wasn't really seen as a proficient gunner, was quite low in rating as a result. But yesterday went 8-4 and has started strong so far today. His teammate Jegs, meanwhile, had a real strong day yesterday, and that is not slowing down today. Up to 4-1 as Secret are forced down towards the depths of the basement.
Yeah, this is better from Wild. We're sort of back and forth here. Wild have a couple of good rounds, get a lot of kills, and Secret respond to that. But then Wild are able to double down and find them once again. They've got the Library control that I spoke about. That was where Secret needed to hold on to, and they've just been unable, and the pressure is going to mount. There's still a minute left to go. I would expect in the next 30 seconds, maybe 40, that we will see Wild getting that diffuser down.
Yeah, Jegs does it all as well, clearing out all that utility, opening up the hatches, getting the soft floor removed as well, just trying to make it as uncomfortable as possible for Secret. YZN especially is the one here playing inside a wine in a pretty tricky position to unsettle unless you have nades on side. They're going to have to push him and try and kill him if they want to get good control of the site. Has a little bit of support, and Slevin is waiting on the upstairs for the backstab. I don't think Wild are aware, Tim.
I don't think they are at all, and that could be a big problem. Slevin could really even things up here with some vertical control. Gets one onto Jegs. Can he find Packball? They know that the fight is coming, but no, Packball taken down as well, and that levels things up, and what a swing for Secret. 15 seconds left to go, and Wild are in a position of having to try and retake top floor, but whilst that happens, 2 kills come in, and this is surely Secret's round now. 1 versus 2, diffuser not in hand. There is little that Aces can do.
That's such a shame as well because they were in such a commanding position. I mean, it was a great backstab coming out of Secret in at that 3 versus 5. It looked to be like they were done, due to get overwhelmed by the numbers. But with all 5 players still standing up for Wild there as well, no one really sat watching the drones, or if there were even any in the first place. That 2K backstab on the upstairs with a bit of a lack of communication coming in from the attackers just gifts around over to the side of Secret. 2-2, things now sit out.
Going to be heading into our third site now. It's going to be Master and Office. And as I suggested, Team Secret have shown great adaptability there. They lost Wine, they lost Bar. They've come back and won both of them. There was a big play from Sleben towards the end of the round there. And again, it was that fight over library control that I spoke about. Whilst you had your 2 men up there, it was possible for them to think about getting the diffuser down. But as soon as Sleben cleared those out, found those 2 kills, took the sledge and took Pack Bull as well on the Amaru, it was pretty much over for Wild at that point. There was not going to be an opportunity for them to put the diffuser down. So really well played, Secret. And that was, not even just necessarily a strategical adaptation, it was a mid-round adaptation. We need to take that top floor back. Great decision, great call from the IGL, and that's going to leave us now 2-2 on the scoreboard.
And up to Master Office we go, Tim. So no rotating back down through the downstairs sites. Of course, winning 2 of those in the last 3. Means at least 1 is locked away. The basement one would have been locked off and they didn't want to go back to... Bar and Gaming locked away,
locked.
sorry. Yep, because they put 2 in the row. It was 2-0, wasn't it? Up to 2-2.
It is.
So now we go towards Master Office as that third site. So not going to see Kitchen and Dining being employed and made use of here. Ace is the one already up pretty quickly here as well. Out with the calls, onto the drones he goes, whilst we've got Jegs looking in on the downstairs, as you can see, opening up below with the sledgehammer. A really good cute angle that you open up by doing this is that you get direct access straight up towards the solar stairs, and you can put a real good challenge in from below, prevents the defenders moving around as freely as they might like.
Yeah, you can use nades to clear out the utility and clear out any players that are on there. You can actually shoot through as well and open up the next level searing. Yeah. You can play the 3 exactly onto that one spot. You can open that floor up and it just prevents anybody playing outside of there. They haven't chosen to do that yet, but as you say, they may be just trying to encourage the player onto it.
They don't want to bait it. Patbull's playing on the Hibana. He had all of his X-Cairo shot off because Groovy went pretty aggressive there to shoot them all away. If they bait him out again with some more of the X-Cairo's pellets and then you make the play from downstairs, it could be beautiful. But Groovy denies that chance away from Aces, taking him down through the vertical.
They are not easy shots to hit, even just in a straightforward challenge vertically through the bars. It can be difficult, but Groovy finding a super tight angle there to take down Aces. There is a response though as YZN goes down. This is a nitro, but no, Hungry. He manages to get himself away. Might be hungry, but he wasn't going to eat that one up. Des gets away from there, keeps on the double window, and the pressure remains in sight.
Yep, still at 4v4 as well. Lots of kind of dancing around these vertical holes, and this really has been the story of the round, has all been about the vertical. No lateral gunfights coming in just yet, but only 2 victims equally going down, 1 for either side. Sleben just daring someone to step into the trophy window as well. Has been watching it for the last 45 seconds or so, and that smoke might be enough to force out a little bit of action from the side of the defenders, but for now, no one moves until finally Patbull strikes onto Sleben.
A little bit of action indeed as the Hibana manages to find a kill, but then will be traded out by Groovy, leaving us now 3 versus 3. They know that the pressure is mounting from Wild. They wanting to get themselves inside of windows. They're going to have to, because at the minute they're almost completely outside of the map. A couple of kills though, Teb and Jegs, that really swings things again in their favour. 3 versus 1, 27 seconds left to go. There is another opportunity to get a diffuser down, but no, Hungry will find the final kill before they can think about it. Savage taken out, and that's going to be round for Wild, 3-2.
I think Hungry there showing the discipline. We saw it a lot in F in the first-person view as well, that I think many don't tend to hold when they play things like Ranked In. He sat there for them that window for the best part of 2 minutes.
I love that window, to be fair.
Yeah. Sat there for 2 minutes waiting for the cross to come through. You saw the defenders looking to try and reverse challenge it, was getting C4'd onto. For all intents and purposes, he was playing a really hungry role. Quite literally how Hungry used to play things was to be the flex player for his team. He'd play Monty, he'd play Ying, he'd play Capitao. No doubt he'll draw a lot of bans in towards that Ying this season, as it has been his go-to operator for the longest of times, even though we haven't seen him play for about 15 months here in Tier 1. But he was in a really patient spot, just sat and did his job for his team there, didn't get impatient, and ultimately was rewarded with the final kill of the round.
Yeah, the reason that double window is so important, if it's not maybe a position, that you play yourself or that you know what's going on, usually the wall will be soft that's in front of you. There'll be a rotation in there. You can see all the way through to piano. You can see all the way through to bathroom door. So what you effectively do by sitting on that window is you completely cut the site in half. So as a defender, you've really got to try and do something about that position if you can, whether that's a run out, a jump out, but often, it will be in combined with a Claymore, with nomad air jabs. There'll be something to deal with those potential threats because it can be such a power position, and the defenders, there becomes a fatigue element. The defenders, after a minute, 2 minutes, they forget about it. They forget that I need to move through to the other side of site, and bang, you've snapped, you've got him. Yep. And that's exactly what Hungary's done there. And like you say, that's where that patience comes in, knowing that the opportunity will present itself. Brilliantly played. So we move on to round 6. It's going to be the final defensive round for Team Secret. And Jegs, he's not messing about. He's straight into library here, Des.
He is straight inside. It was Aces in the previous round. Here it's Jegs, the one looking to move in pretty quick and just taking out cameras on his march all the way through. Now, obviously we aren't playing on the upstairs side, but often what you'll see here, in case this is your first time watching Siege, is that you often have to defend a site from above. If you can't defend it by holding the rooms adjacent to it, you tend to try and play from above as long as there is soft flooring to make use of, and that's exactly what Team Secret have gone for here. Reinforcing up a few of these walls, forcing utility to come out of Wild to get control of rooms that aren't anything really to do with the site, but the attackers themselves want control of it, so they can start looking through the vertical holes, forcing defenders to squirm a little bit, and then looking for the execute when they've gained enough ground from above.
And that's why you see Wild almost sort of attacking two sites here. They've gone to attack that top one. They've opened the office wall. That's going to prevent defenders from staying in there. And then Packbull on the thermite heads downstairs and he opens the actual site wall. So they've now got that path in. They still need to deal with and make sure there are no defenders up on that top floor. Because as you say, Des, they will deny any plant attempt from above potentially. But with the wall being open, that will go a long way. Now then, Packbull, I think he knows Savage is there. He's definitely holding the angle, and Savage has got himself stuck here, Des. Packbull's actually run away. He's going to allow Savage back into things here. There's an option now for him to be able to rotate out, but that's a smart decision from Packbull. He doesn't want to be doing something like leaving diffusers in bad areas and, you know, the utility that goes with it as well.
I was going to comment on exactly the same. Dropping it down near Aces in case Packbull did go down, but now that he's used both of his exothermics, Packbull can, for all intents and purposes, function like a little bit of a fragger. Obviously, his role is still to try and get the diffuser down, but arguably anyone can do that. He's still in a spot now with the utility being used that can be his focus if he wants it to be, or can go a little bit more freeform and start looking for kills. But here we go. Stepping in, he goes in behind the bomb chassis, holds down F like any good support could. And speaking of support, Hungary's in there with the smokes and the firebolts, everything coming out wonderfully, and Seven cannot get above in time. This will be really hard for the side of Secret now to stake a comeback because these long angles are available. Wild can just sit far back and look for these kills as they've already done. 2 quick kills coming through, and Secret will have nothing to find a way back into this round.
Straw misses his opportunity there. Teb taking him down for the window. 4 versus 1 now. This round almost certainly over. YZN does indeed get cut down from the same position. It was clinical from Wild. I'd like to... That's a round that I will watch back because the wall... I don't feel like there was a ton of effort from Wild to sort of take control of top floor. They went in, they opened office wall, Packbull dipped straight out of there. You know, there was a bit more of a push on the top floor, but we saw Sleben moving back upstairs at the end of the round, trying to take that vertical back. And I'd be interested to see just exactly what Wild were doing to hold on to that space, and maybe whether Secret could have done that a little bit sooner.
I think it was quite smart because with the breach being opened up, you assume there might be a player playing on backstairs inside of the lobby with the long angle challenge. So you can't come through a rotate between master and office, for example. So Sleben was forced to go via piano and try and work his way on towards the single door to then get inside of office to be able to challenge those vertical angles. The problem was that very sensibly, Wild had a player inside of library who had opened up some of the soft walls inside the box, looking straight through towards piano, and we saw Sleben step across and just get cut down as soon as he tried to step forward to look for any kind of vertical play. So again, going back to Fresh's point before this game started, it's more really well constructed assaults coming out from Wild. They've thought about every possibility. They have an answer ready for it. And Secret are kind of trying their luck and poking here, there and everywhere, trying to find a way through these setups. But Wild are just leaving no gaps in their executes like that.
I tell you what, I know...
Oh, wow.
Packbull absolutely
what is going on with Packbull? Honestly.
I tell you...
Piece of ball.
He's obviously hearing, you know, we say, oh, well, you know, he's maybe not the player you focus on for frags, but he's certainly teaching us a lesson at the minute that he can definitely be that guy, Des.
He's that guy. very quickly proving himself to be just that as well. I know it's 5-4. It's not quite holding a candle up to the other 3 members of his team. 6-3, 6-2, 7-3. Fantastic first half for Jegs, Teb and Aces. But the reason why we keep on highlighting Patbull is, again, that history behind this player. Not known to be a fragger, low rated normally, but is really holding himself up alongside many others.
Fantastic. You love to see it. You know, WYLDE as well. Overall, you know, welcome to EU. They've come in here. I know a lot of the players aren't new to this level of play, or EUL itself even, but as a team, as an org, they're brand new, and they're coming in here and absolutely running things at the minute in this group.
The thing is, they've got M&M and Wolves as their last 2 games that they'll be playing.
Tough couple of games to go into, but what a way to set up for it.
I mean, if they beat one of those teams, they've locked in essentially a spot at the major. They're on 9 points at that stage. Nothing to worry about. You'll be laughing.
Well, they certainly, exactly that. You know, they're certainly into those matches where one best of 3 is going to get them there. You know, that is very real possibility with the way that things are playing out. But they do have 2 difficult games to come. So, but like I say, they've got a great foundation for it. Good nade from Astro. Going to level things up 4 versus 4. Halfway through the round, and still Secret trying to get full control over Library.
And again, we can't commend WYLDE without commending Secret for also good team play. Flashes preceding frag grenades to make sure no magnets were around. And they get the freebie into that back corner of Library and pick up a free kill. Still, 4 versus 4 as we come towards that final 60 seconds or so. This is where Secret have got to start thinking about putting together this execute. And for now, at least, WYLDE still have full control of Library. Not the spot you want to be in, as you have no vertical control. It means if you do step in and try and look for a plant, you are in hot bother.
Could be difficult for them here, looking to push through that double window. Savage is going to work his way up from the basement, but YZN straight into the frost mat. Astro does manage to find Teb, though. That's a big one. It gives Library control, and that leaves us now in effectively a 3 versus 2 with YZN down, but with 40 seconds, they might take the opportunity to get him back on his feet. Hungry. Trying to hold on, but he's not going to be able to, as Groovy manages to slap him on the reverse angle, and it's all up to Jegs.
This has got Jegs written all over it as well, unless Groovy can win this one. The timing is unreal! Gets 2 for himself, and now the others have got to respond. Savage finds the kill. Thought Jegs would take that for a second. Right idea, but not the dream execution. And Secret pull us up to 4 and 3.
Great start on the attack for Secret. Exactly what they wanted there. You know, they can sort of forget the few wars that they experienced through the first half, and they can really start focusing into the back end of this game, the meat of it, where it counts. And at the beginning of this, Des, I said that I would be surprised to see any less than 11 rounds, and we're in a position where that's almost a certainty here. The best it could be is 10 if WYLDE were to go on and win it from here, but I don't think that's the case, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a second one go into those additional overtime rounds between these two, because it's very close. I give WYLDE the edge at the minute, but Secret are certainly in the fight.
I mean, they have the edge in so many ways. Again, if you sum up the kills on either side right now, WYLDE are ahead by some margin. So, you know, the rounds that Secret have won have come down to the wire a little bit more so than the ones where WYLDE have walked away the winner. I can think of a couple where they've walked away essentially in a 5 versus 1 and all but flawless the round, if not for one death coming through in the late stages. Not to take away from Secret, though, there is still plenty of time to pull this one back and start delivering the goods. Here we go with this hold up here inside of Dining. As we've spoken about so many times, Tim, for this site, you need to have control of Dining if you are the defenders. If you concede it, the attackers will use it against you in the post plant.
This is it, and that has sort of bled out into the rest of the map, and it is much more about holding the entirety of it if you can. You know, quite often players, as I've said, up on the top floor, it was a great job that WYLDE did in the first round to clear those out. The Thatcher is going to support YZN. Slebin there just dropping the EMPs in. Packbull going for the electrical trick, but not going to be successful, and that sees Snowmobile open just about as quick as WYLDE did it, so a good start to the attack here. As I say, Secret unlikely to play that, and as I explained earlier, if you wonder why are they opening that if they're not going to play there, it's about distraction, it's about discomfort, it's about making it difficult for those defenders, because they have to keep an eye on it just in case somebody comes back.
Yeah, I'm always calling it phantom pressure is a word that a phrase that I made up and used once, and it's kind of stuck for me ever since. But it is that idea of, like you say, in case someone is there, you can't just ignore it. You have to assume someone is always there, because if you don't, well, someone will be there and you'll die. Just the way that it works. 2 members of WYLDE both moving their way back down. Jegs and Aces, the 2 entries for this team, realising, okay, there's no full map clear coming in here. We need to get the hell back towards site because we are not going to be finding ourselves any freebies anytime soon. Though if they hold true here, they might be in a good spot because there is one player holding out towards this north side. Right sort of idea, but they're not expecting Groovy to actually be inside the garage already. Although part of me thinks, okay, surely they have the right idea. I love the placing with the Claymores, by the way, on the hatch. If they try and drop down there, they are dead.
Hungry manages to pick up Savage, starts things off. That's going to be the Brava by the wayside. Don't know whether she was successful in managing to claim any of the electronics or not. We'll find out as the round goes on. Astro's in a position here to potentially have a little creep down main stairs. That could be absolutely devastating if Wild aren't prepared for it.
Well, this is the thing. They've got options, right? They started to put a little bit of pressure out towards West Main side with the push coming in through Big Car Garage. They've got 2 or 3 hanging around lobby. We know the main hatch is opened up. There are choices available to them here. So really for Wild, it's a bit of a guessing game. You know, where do we respond to? What do we do? And Hungry is the one out on the roam on this ground floor looking to find whatever he can. But these long angles and the UMP, not too sure about that.
No, they don't really go hand in hand, but right now they're just starting to suffer from attrition here, and there's no hard breach left available for Secret. Obviously, both exothermic charges have been used, and that's why you see YZN coming back down to the snowmobile. The rear side is not going to be open, and if Wild are able to figure that out, it's going to be kill after kill, and they will take them down because they know they can just focus on the front side. That's exactly what they did, and a great round from Wild on the defence to close it out. It's going to be 5-3.
Bit of a flurry of a 3K coming in the end there, and again, I'll commend Secret for having so many options available to them, but when they actually come around to pulling the trigger, Wild looked largely unbothered. The main threat they had was a couple of flashbangs coming in towards Connector, so the 3 players sat around blue or behind the bookcases you saw there at the very end from the Warden, more than enough to respond to the threat coming down. 1 on towards main breach, 1 on towards main stairs, absolutely no bother at all. Kitchen and dining going to be the first time we've seen this site, I believe, Tim, between these 2 teams.
No, we saw it. We saw it already. There was 1 attack on there. It was round 6. It was the final defensive round.
I remember saying in round 5, I haven't seen it yet. We won't see it, and now here we are seeing it again.
We did. We had the discussion about top floor control opening off.
Yes, we did. You are correct.
So we will see. Will the attackers of Team Secret play into a similar style or not? They don't have the thermite on side. YZM will be able to do the same job with the Hibana, of course. Couple of pellets on that office wall, create that pressure and move those top floor defenders. But Wild, they know the value of the top floor. They used it to their advantage, able to get the diffuser down. I think we're going to see a much stronger hold from them up on the top floor. I don't think they're going to be moved quite so easily.
It feels like a bit of a rarity to see a Maestro these days.
Certainly is. You know, the cameras, for those not familiar, did have a little bit of a change. They were much more powerful when originally brought out, but it was, you know, a bit of a balancing thing that I think was needed. They were a little bit too essential, but now they can be sort of opened up and challenged by the Twitch drones. The Thatchers can see them destroyed. You can smash the glass on them. You've got a lot more options, and it really saw Maestro sort of drop out of popularity.
I want a Brava hack on one this round.
That'd be good, yeah. Still got a great gun. The Aldo, as we know, you know, absolutely fantastic LMG, a real clutch machine when it comes down to it at the end of rounds. But yeah, we don't see too much Maestro, even though Info is generally king in Seed.
It is, yeah, and I honestly thought with the rise of more 3 speeds that we might see 3 speeds. 1 speed, sorry. Did have a couple of our defenders, you know, Malusi, Aruni, brought down to 1 speed, slowed right down, that we might see him being reprioritised, but not quite yet the case. Either way, Patball's got it in this round. It's a good amount of information on site that they may well need when the execute comes through, because we can't ignore how clean the execute of Wild was back in round 6. A little bit of top floor control, getting both of the main breaches opened up, and that was all they really needed to make a plant happen and win the round incredibly comfortably.
I'm not sure how aware they are of Astro's position at the minute. He's managed to creep himself all the way up into Solari, and YZM manages to take down Jegs, and that surely is going to create and carve a little bit of a path for Astro to start pushing forward. He's going to lose a nade to an ADS there, though. That's not ideal for them. I might have thought that the drones could have picked those up. Astro does get taken down as well, so it's into a Frostmat. He goes. Teb will secure the kill, so that's an unused nade gone as well, and that is not bad from Wild. They're 1 for 1 up on the top floor. 2 minutes have been burnt.
Here we go on the march forward as well. Castle barricades removed, and Hungry, suddenly fearing for his life, he's going to have to fight out of here like a bit of a feral animal. Savage swinging round as well, hoping to be the hunter in this case. And you've got Teb also looking to move around, in fact providing a little bit of support, and Hungry does get his way out through the breach before anyone can find him either on the double window or on pushing in towards office. So, got away a little bit scot-free there, Tim.
Did. Teb manages to find Savage, and things are going from bad to worse at the minute for Team Secret. We've got Gruby looking to try and move up West Main, but the Barb is just going to impede his progress, and surely they will know that he's coming now. Flashbang's quite ahead of him. He knows that the element of surprise is gone, so he just needs to give himself every advantage in the gunfights that he can. He's not going to find anybody, though, before taking a whole host of damage. YZN does manage to pick up aces, but the trade will be there for Hungry. Packbull with the Alder manages to find one as well. 7 seconds left to go. Hungry on the final kill and manages to close out the round. Wild get themselves onto that point, and who would have thought it, Des? They're on the brink of having 6 points after 2 play days.
It's crazy because, again, they play 2 more games next week. They have a bye day on the next day, the very 5th day, and it's interesting because of the way that the group stage is scheduled. We have 2 play days this week, 2 next. In the next week, we have a single day of groups, and the playoffs begin the very next day. So in a way, for Wild, it's actually a blessing they don't play on that 5th and final day. They get a break. They get to focus instead on what's coming next in the playoffs. So if they can get the extra 3 points here as well, go on to get anything really out of next week, suddenly they're in a very commanding position to be able to say, all right, we're finishing at least 3rd. We can not so much take it easy, but the feet can come off the brake a little bit here. We can start focusing on those playoffs already, which would be crazy to think about doing so soon.
It really would. Like you say, it's another element to this format that I love. You know, you've got 5 play days, you've got 1 team that, you know, on a bye each day, 2 teams on a bye each day. And so where does the advantage come in those byes? You know, we spoke to Virtus Pro, they had a bye yesterday. Do you think that helped you beat G2? Well, you know, yeah, we got to watch their game. You know, I know Joystick said that there was some elements there that really they were prepared for anyway. But, you know, there's got to be a little bit of, you know, is there an advantage there? Is there, as you say, an advantage in having it at the end of things and getting that extended break before playoffs? You know, where does it all drop into place? And I think Wild are going to be the case of an example as we go on, and we'll see how that translates into those later performances. We're talking like they've already made it, but I tell you what, I think at this point I'm not sure that Wild are going to be stopped when it comes to getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, again, remember the Secret played against M&M yesterday, and although M&M came ahead 7-4, it was a pretty good game overall. Secret definitely didn't play bad. They played arguably as well as they played here today, and it's looking to be a pretty similar result. So that game next week could prove to be really, really interesting between M&M and Wild. And of course, if you're curious, Wolves play against Secret on the same day. That'll be Monday next week. Those of you actually here watching on a Tuesday will know we now do have 2 play days a week, Monday and Tuesday. So be sure not to miss any. Packbull starts out the entry, and I feel like I've said that now 3 or 4 times this map, and it still doesn't sound any more normal.
It could be the beginning of the end, as Wild managed to get themselves an advantage 5 versus 4, and the thing is, every kill that they pick up, they can just play a little bit more cautiously. But Savage, he's going to bring them back out of the shell a little bit by finding Teb. Levels us up at 4 versus 4, defended up on the top floor. You know, they need to be winning these challenges. Packbull looks to get very aggressive on Solarium Door, and as I said, he needed to be winning it. YZN manages to cut him down. 4 versus 3 now. Team Secret have got an opportunity to keep themselves in this.
It's that constant battle on those doorways of, you know, who walks away the winner. You can't afford to turn your eyes away from the doorway in case they swing you at the exact moment you do. So kind of had to keep on firing, expecting YZN to come in, but he played it so patiently and then stepped back in for the pre-fire when he was ready and walked away the winner. Gruby watching on towards trophy window. Hungry hits the deck as well, at least temporarily. In fact, there goes Jegs too. The support has been removed from underneath him. It feels, Tim, like this round should be a Team Secret round.
Definitely should be. It's all up to Aces. He knows that the rappel is coming in, but can't find the kill. Sleben straight down through the hatch. I think had some information, knew that Aces was down there, and that is going to be Secret picking up around and taking us into 11 now, as it is 6-4 on the scoreboard. But the problem for Team Secret, Des, is that there are no more mistakes available. They have to win every single round if they want to go to overtime, and you just feel at the minute like Wild, they've got one somewhere. They've got one in the pocket ready to take them over the line.
I feel like they should be able to close it out, really, given how well they played throughout the game so far. But as I already said after that first game, Tim, it wouldn't be the only upset we'd seen today with Virtus Pro bringing down the current world champions in G2. I wouldn't be overly shocked to see Team Secret managing to hold on for the next 2 rounds and bringing it through to overtime as well. Let's see how things shape up, though, as we head down into Snowmobile Garage and Wine Cellar for what could be the last round in this game in round 11. We'll see some more roaming, no doubt, coming out of Aces and Jegs, those who have been off and about around the map for pretty much the majority of the entire thing.
They have, you know, and they've been effective. They've been picking up those kills, just keeping Wild on top of things in terms of the man count and just letting them play with a little bit of comfort. It is going to be all the way down in the basement, the site. We are down in Snowmobile and Wine, but as I've said, watch for those full map holds. We've got Aces is one to watch here, particularly on the Oryx. 9 kills to his name. He's going well, and that is the sort of operator that can be an absolute nightmare on this site. He's got a great gun, and he can get up and down those hatches and just really hurt you.
Here we've got the potential trick coming in as well on towards the one side that he needs to, because he knows only one side was left soft, but it's a bit of a bait coming out, actually. Back and forth between the two sides. They're constantly chucking it down. If he gets away with this, then suddenly it's probably going to stay closed, because I'm pretty sure, Tim, they are out of EMPs. They have burnt everything. The wall stays closed.
That was really well played from Packbull there, and it shows the impact of that recent change that we had, where Bandit is now allowed to apply multiple batteries to a wall, so you can just leave one that's been EMP'd and you can just apply the next, and it makes bandit tricking a thing again, and that was brilliantly played by
The problem really came from that first EMP out of Sleben, though. It didn't extend to the right wall. It only caught the left one just a little bit too far wide. They were in a spot where they couldn't get everything locked down. He had to commit a second EMP to even get the wall in the first place, a third one to try and guarantee it, but it was a great trick coming out. They'll be kicking themselves for that one.
They needed a nade going in through that wall, really. You try and open the left-hand side, you send a nade in through the drone hole, and the bandit just cannot play close enough to be able to get the battery onto the wall. But ultimately, one way or another, that wall is going to remain closed. One exothermic charge left. That's going to be the extent of the hard breach, realistically. Gruby has got 2 of the secondary gadgets, but as I've said previously, really, they are lines of sight. It's always dangerous to try and move in through them. You've got to go through a full vault animation to get yourself inside with those much smaller holes, so that's the best they're going to get out of them. Savage does manage to take down Hungry, though, so a point in Wild's favour and a point in Secrets.
It is. It's the spot where at least one's down on the other side, though. They've got to keep on marching forward, and the Jackal just making sure everyone is back on site, which they are. But we get into this last 60 seconds. I feel like Secret can still hold on, though, Tim. That's the big one, but I'm watching that drone count keep on whittling down.
That's it. They're going to be playing on less and less information as they go. 50 seconds left on the clock. Savage, he's moving down main stairs here, Des, but I think they're aware. In comes the swing. Beauty from Teb. It's a direct trade. Are they going to try again? YZN. I think he's actually going to go out of the window. Is he going to try to open that wall again? If they've got the vertical above, they can clear the bandit batteries off, but it's very late in the day. Instead, they're going to be using the stairs, and the drones are still raining out. It feels very last minute for Team Secret, Des.
It does, but can they make it work here as it comes down to a 3 versus 3, losing Sleben in the process? They've got a little bit of time to work with, Tim, but we know how teams can afford no mistakes coming into these dying few seconds. We come to the last 10. It's a great nade, but there's 2 kills coming in before that comes down to it. YZN was the only one left standing. He can't do it. Wild will take themselves all 3 points.
Aces with an absolutely critical kill there. The nade is coming in towards him. It's been cooked to perfection, so his time is probably at an end anyway.